There is a box for that.
Was that the
We
beginning?
did not click it, no. Said it's beginning now.
He was just saying to try and get her applied for pioneer student.
We're starting a quick channel here. But, yeah, you can still try standard, but it's more expensive and she's not gonna do it now. But she got
That's true, it is more
straight up declined, so.
Yeah.
Yo,
Cool. All right. Well, camera's right there. I forgot. Hey, everybody. This is Justin. Obviously, let me zoom in here a little bit. We got me and Ernie, and then we got Kratos back here. If you didn't know, God of War Ragnarok is just coming out now on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, but we're not here to talk about that. Ernie is an agent here at Senior Life Services. He's a beast. He's done $100,000 a month before. He submitted over 100K in business, 100% over the phone, selling final expense. He's really, really good. How many years you been doing this?
3.5.
3.5?
Yeah.
Cool. So he's been doing this 3.5 years, and he knows a thing or two about what it takes to sell final expense over the phone. So, Ernie, if you could give 3 tips here to some of the viewers, what tips would you give them about selling final expense over the phone?
If you guys are brand new people, you got to spend some time outside of actually selling. I mean, I've spent time, my very first week, I didn't make any money, and that was just completely unacceptable to me. So I read a few books, like honed my process, listened to my calls, and then my second week I made $1,300. So focus, like really focus, would be number 2. It's like just dial it. I mean, just make the calls. You have your script. Keep doing exactly the same thing over and over again, and it will work for you. And the adjustments that I make in my mind are really the adjustments that end up happening. Like you try something, it doesn't work, you try something else. That's all the secret to all successes. And third, this is a marathon, so you're advanced like 9 months. You get a lot of money up front, depending on you always get a lot of money up front. And focus on actually following up with your clients, because I'll be honest with you guys, I just didn't care my first year. I just wrote a ton of business. I was getting paid very well, but I know I probably left about 50 grand on the table by basically not following up with anybody. If I had an insufficient fund, don't care, next business.
Yeah.
But those simple calls will allow you to keep your money and really look at it like. Once I looked at it like they're basically taking money from me, then I started following up with clients, which is really what's happening. Like you were paid, you were given a loan, and those loans you don't have to pay back. If the client keeps paying them, it's like just take your money.
No, that's huge. So a lot of you guys, what he's saying is you want to treat your advanced commissions like a loan, because that's really what they are. They're an interest-free loan, all right? So make sure. I fell into this trap when I started. I got all this money up front, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to pay this off, I'm going to pay that off, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to get this. And then next thing I know, I was like owing all this money back to the carriers because my clients were canceling their policies. And 2 things, I spent too much that I made up front, and then number 2, I wasn't keeping in touch with my existing business. So big thing you said there, Ernie, I think too, is staying on your script, right? Just sticking to it. So any tips that you can give people on how to stick to the script that they have when a client tries to pull them off?
I always tell people, like, if somebody pulls you off, usually it's just a quick compliment. I will spend less than 2 minutes talking about whatever subject they just brought up or whatever questions they have. But usually, guys, like, don't argue with people. That's the biggest thing. You can agree with anybody. There's nothing they can say. It's like, oh, I like fishing. I don't make stuff up and say, oh, me too, and come up with nonsense. I'm just like, yeah, I could never really get into it, but I really wish I could, because I can't. Like, I'll just be honest with them. I'm not very good at relaxing, so that sounds like a relaxing thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did say you're 5'4", 160 pounds, and it really is that easy, because they know you have a purpose to this call. They feel just as bad talking to you for 10 minutes about something that nobody cares about. But
Yeah.
I mean, they care about it, but you know what I mean? Like, if you're interested in something and you have shared experiences, you should explore them briefly, but it should not become 20 minutes in where you become best friends with somebody. Because one thing that we all know, if you become best friends with a client, it's very easy for them to get off the phone. Like, they can simply say, well, all right then, and then they feel like they're just talking to a friend, and then they're off.
Yeah, for sure. And so what he's saying is, if someone's trying to pull you off the script, just acknowledge them for a minute or 2, bring it back to something else that's on I mean, you could have some of their data, you could have their height and weight. If there's like the city and state there, be like, oh, so you said you mentioned you lived over here. Yep. Okay, cool. Confirm some of their information. And then just kind of get right back into the presentation.
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing, so I'm always looking for ammo. Like anything they give you can be ammo. If they're talking about fishing with their son, it's like, oh, you guys had a good relationship, so is that why he's the beneficiary? He's the closest one in the family? Yes, yeah, and then move on. Anything that's complimentary, anything that you can come up with, anything they've given you can be used to sell them and let them sell themselves. If they're talking about having to take care of somebody else's burial, I hear too many agents like interrupt them trying to get back to the script. That's a good diversion. If they're talking about burying somebody and they went through this process and how hard it was, do not stop them. Let them finish their thoughts, and then you can immediately get back to, so is your goal here, basically, so your daughter, whoever the beneficiary is, doesn't have to go through that as well.
Cool. So some stories are good for them to keep going on.
As long as it's got something to do with insurance and protecting families, that they can talk about it.
They're talking about their little cat or something, unless like it's getting insurance too. Then, if the cat has a social, write them up. That's what I guess.
My dad always says he'll leave money to the cat.
Yeah.
not me, but I know that's a joke.
Cool. If you guys have any questions for us too, you can drop it in the chat. We got Ernie for about 7 more minutes here. Super talented agent. He's done over 100K in a single month before. So he's exceptionally good and versed at final expense. If you have any questions about sales, the intro, the fact finding, what questions you ask to build the need, how do you present to build value, how do you close the sale, how do you handle objections? Let's go to that, because that tends to be the big thing. I think YouTube gets this flash for like objection handling, when like it's not even about, if you get the objection, it means you had a bad presentation, and like you just didn't, not a bad presentation, but you didn't ask the right questions, I think, in the fact finding. But that's the sizzle, right? Is the steak is the question, is the sizzle's the objection handling. So if you get there and you get objections, how do you handle objections? What's your technique for handling it? Say someone says I have to think about it in the close.
All right, so I just want to say, like what you just said is true. The close begins immediately. Like you are immediately closing people. Like I'm getting, like if I get the same objection over and over again, like I will almost write it into the script where it's handled throughout, so that way I don't get it. Like if somebody says I have to speak to somebody, it's like I usually agree. Everything I do is agree. It's like I'm sure you do. I'm sure it'd be very nice to have them something to look at where you guys could sit down at the kitchen table and go over it together, correct?
Yeah.
Or I just kind of hush it out until I find out what the real objection is. But that would be like my default. It's like, sure, you should talk to him. It's like, so now what is that, wherever I am in the script, I mean, obviously it's not gonna be like, what is that account number every time, but
Yeah.
like, it's really just about agreeing, overcoming. We teach something around here called agree, isolate, and overcome. Because sometimes the objection they're giving you is not the real objection. So that you can almost blow, like I do, Justin's heard a few of my calls, so I blow off a lot of objections because I just don't see any validity to them, so I just keep moving.
So sometimes they tell you have to think about it, you agree, and then just go right to keep doing the app, just keep assuming the sale.
Very much. I will tell you guys, if you guys come up with good objections, you should memorize them, or good rebuttals. You should memorize them. The one that I have to think about is like, I mean, I've said almost exactly, who's that? I forget what the guy's name was. He came and visited us. He's big time in the Medicare space. And I just kind of altered some of the objections, and then I use them as like tests. So other agents were listening to me make a few calls, so I distributed this rebuttal sheet, and then I started using them, and here other people can listen to me use them, because people monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
And then like nobody has more at stake than this than you about this decision. So I do want to get this paperwork to you. I mean, you are 80 years old, so I do want to make sure you have something in place, because it's better than nothing. Wouldn't you agree, Ms. Jones? Yes. It's like, okay, so we just need this one final piece of information to, take care of the application. And once you're approved, this is something you don't have to worry about anymore. And then just, you loop. This is how I do it. I just loop. Go back to, or is there something, I won't ask directly. It's like, okay, you always blame yourself. There must be something in the process that I didn't explain correctly.
Yeah.
You don't want to make them ever feel, not inquisitive or the point. I assume things, but I'm not inquisitive to the point where I'm like, what didn't you understand?
Yeah, exactly.
You'll never hear that.
Not like, what do you have to think about? Like
That's terrible.
Yeah. You don't want to ask that. If someone says I have to think about it, you don't want to ask them what they have to think about. He's saying you have to find other ways around it.
Because that's too aggressive. It's almost saying, oh, you didn't hear everything I just said? Are you stupid? You know, you guys just don't want to do that. It's like never, and any tone or any question that makes them feel stupid is a huge mistake on your part.
For sure. Cool. Well, we got Ernie for a couple more minutes here. If anybody wants to drop some questions, I see we got some viewers.
How can you even read that?
So it's just, yeah, I
Sorry,
don't know.
guys. I don't know if there's
I got
questions.
my computer super tiny here. That was just me. So drop any questions. We have a little lower attendance today. Drop any questions if you have them. A little lower attendance than normal, but hey, we should pick up over time. So, kind of just.
But Justin, he asked me before we started, like, what do I think the most important part of the presentation? It really is, to me, it's the first 4 seconds in the intro. Basically establishing authority that you're supposed to be talking to them. That's more important than anything. And the second thing is, am I presenting to somebody that has the ability, the need, and the means to buy? If they don't, then, you know, I'm gone. I'm always gone very nicely, but you really have to discover, like, what is the purpose of the insurance? I'll get very specific with people. Like when Jimmy receives this money, is he going to take it directly to a funeral home? Is he going to use it for, like, what is he going to use it for? Because you need to paint a mental picture.
Exactly.
But also you need to, like, oh, I don't want Jimmy to have any money. Okay, then.
Yeah.
then I don't need to spend 30 minutes talking to you about this.
Yeah, for sure. Do you do any IULs? No, we don't do IULs. We do final expense exclusively. Just final. So what are you saying there is like fishing for the need? There's different ways to ask for it, but paint the picture. I tell my agents that too, so it's funny to use the terminology. But I think Grant Cardone talks about this. He says if people take mental ownership before they take physical ownership. So what that means is anything you've ever bought, any car, even if you had like a pair of shoes, right? Where you're like, oh, I like those shoes. You're seeing them on yourself before you buy them. You buy a bottle of water, you're like, man, this is going to be refreshing.
I'm convinced.
Wow, it is refreshing,
Yes.
right? So people have to get the mental ownership of owning their policy before they'll buy it. And that's essentially helping them solve their problem, right? Like, hey, is there a problem? You can't like make someone want to pay for this for their kids or anything like that. So, Ernie, anything else you want to share?
No, and right on cue, Nathan Shalom is going to take my
Awesome.
spot.
Thanks, I
All right, thanks,
appreciate
guys.
you. So I was gonna do some listening to calls today, but I came out to our home office in Vero Beach, and we got Ernie, we got Nathan, we got a bunch of other really, really talented insurance agents here, final expense telesales agents.
I trained Nathan.
So yeah, Ernie is
Yes, he
Nathan's
trained
trainer.
me.
If you would like Ernie to be your trainer, all you got to do is reach out to us. And real quick here, we just want to show you. This was actually Nathan last night. So behind us, the war paint.
Oh, most definitely. Looks exactly like me.
Yeah, no, that's actually Kratos from God of War Ragnarok. So if you guys don't know video games, then now you do. But I'm fiddling with their camera here at the home office. I got this remote. I'm gonna buy one of these next ago, knowing the home office is probably like $600 for that camera or something. But cool. So, question here: can you be successful without having a script? No, you can't. You can't. I don't think you can. Do you think you could be successful without a script?
No,
If you started without a script?
no, no. I would not have had no idea what to be saying to these people. But
Okay. Here, let's let them see your eyes, man. There you go. Cool. There you go. Sweet. So, no, you can put. I don't care if you have a hammer. Don't matter. So, he was saying that he doesn't think you can be successful if starting without a script. But after you've said it 2,000 times,
if you've been here for like a year, you've been here for 6 months, and you're established, and you have your feet in the ground, you could really go your own direction at that point. I feel like I'm more of a guy that I have a script. I use Ernie's script because Ernie's been my coach since day one. He's been the best possible coach for me, and I read a script almost verbatim unless I'm building rapport, and it's just always worked for me. So it doesn't really matter as much what script you're using, as long as you just make the words your own, and it's just all about how you say it at the end of the day.
it is. It's how you say it. So this is the thing. It's like if you can say a script one way, but if you read it and you sound like a robot, then So you're not gonna hear any of those. We use this buzzer in the morning when people get sales and we cover the activity report. When you get 2,500 AP for the week, we go string alert. That's what we do. But yeah, so it's how you say it too, right? Because it's not just about like, hey, I'm gonna read the script, because you can sound like a robot, but you have to put good tonality into it. What's up, iCrack Codes? What's up, man? Hey, thanks, dude. I appreciate you talking to you on Instagram and stuff too. I've seen some people say don't use a script because some are short and others are very long. So Vegeta, I'm going to get you in a minute here with call reluctance. So if you're like, some of the most successful insurance agencies that I know have really long scripts. I mean, our script, the one that I have my agents on, it's not long, but it's not short. You want to be like, how far do you think in is like the sweet spot to where you're closing someone usually, like quoting?
For me, it all varies, but a lot of times once I pass like 20 to like 35 minutes, by then I have really good knowledge of what I'm trying to get for them, what I'm going to be trying to, pitch to them when I'm pitching my prices, how much I think I would recommend to them. And I have enough rapport built to be able to, okay, this is the plan we're going with. You know what? Instead of the 25, let's just go with the 20. I'll mail that one out to you. We'll up it in a couple weeks. Like, I have enough rapport to just kind of like direct the conversation at that point and direct them towards the application and the close.
Okay, so about 20 to 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. A big thing that you guys are going to do if your script is too short and you're starting out, you're not going to put enough emphasis into rapport building. Happens all the time. I see with new agents. So they'll read the script, and they'll think that those questions about building relationships don't matter. But me, I know I can tell if someone's on a good call because the client's like engaged. Can you tell the same thing? Like, if someone's like, they know it's about insurance, but they're talking to you about like their family, everything, you can tell it's like rolling good, right?
Yes. Like, a lot of times I can tell if I'm closing somebody like 5 minutes in. I'm like, yep, that's going to be a close. Like, just based off of like the communication you're just having with that client, what they're opening up to you about. A question I always ask is, and I ask this like 3-4 minutes in, is, have you ever had to go through the process of burying somebody yourself? And sometimes I'll really dig in to try to get a response and answer. And if I get a good enough answer, more than likely I'm going to be ending up closing them on the back end of the call.
Cool. Awesome. So someone asked here, how do you deal with call reluctance? So call reluctance. Real quick, Lolo Young. Yeah, some scripts are long, some scripts are shorter. I would use what works for you. Like, who cares? If you're on a script for 40 minutes, but you make a sale, like, who freaking cares how long it is? You know what I mean? It's like, but if you're on a script for 10 minutes and you don't make any sales, I'd rather be on the script for 40 minutes that makes me sales. Now, it's every script. If someone gives you a script that they make money with, you know that it's a script that works. But like we were saying, it's about how you read it. Using the right tonality, making sure you sound like someone that they would want to talk to. That's really it. So how do you handle call reluctance? So, you know call reluctance? You see it. People don't want to get on the phone.
Phones. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to be successful if you can't get on the phones. There's a reason that so few people succeed in this industry. And you got to just be able to push through that. Like, yeah, I get anxiety. I get procrastination. Everybody deals with, like, intrusive thoughts at times, but you just got to be able to push through and get on the phones and just call, because you're not going to get any better if you're not calling. You can watch a million videos, do everything, but you'll learn more from 10,000 calls than any book, anything else in the world.
Yeah, you will, for sure. So how do you get through it though, right? Because everybody knows, hey, if I want to get better at basketball, I shoot baskets. If I want to shoot this bottle top off, then I just keep doing that, right? Look at it, it's foaming, smoking. So, but the way that you get better at calls is just by making calls. Now, there's call reluctance, so where you get scared. Now, I have a video on this. It's how to overcome fear of the phone, I think. You just search on my channel for fear, and you'll find it. But you got to realize this, is that the way out is the way through. Because being scared of making calls, call reluctance really comes down to fear, I think, of not making a sale, rejection, something like that. But if it's not fear, this is the thing, like you have to make calls to be successful. And if you have anxiety about the phone, your brain fight or flight mechanisms are going to make you avoid the phone, which is going to make you fail anyway. So if you're scared of failing and you won't just push through it to get on the phone, you're going to fail anyway, because you're not going to put the effort that's needed in to do it. People get fear of rejection. They get fear of like everything else comes into place and gets precedence. I think it's really rooted in some sort of like anxiety about maybe rejection or not knowing what to do if they say yes. That's a big fear. If you don't know what to do when they say yes, right? So get your applications down, your products down. But like he said, you just got to make those calls and you got to practice. That's the only way to do it. And what I'll do with agents who have call reluctance, because here we provide all our agents all the leads they need. Exactly. So it's like,
and all the training.
Yeah, and all the training. So it's like literally like it's not like Vegeta right here, maybe at home, like hey, I'm buying. He's buying these leads, and he's like doesn't have the training and stuff. What I do, I take an agent, I put him in a Zoom call, and I say I take remote control of their screen, and I just literally click, and I make the phone calls for him. Then someone answers, and they handle it. I'm like, okay, now you do it. Make 3 calls. Cool. All right, now I'm going to make 3 more calls. Cool. Now I want you to make 10 more calls. Cool. Now I want you to make 50 total calls. Let me know when you're done. I'll set a timer. If I don't hear from them in 30 minutes, I make sure that they're still on the phone. If they're not, I text them, hey, where'd you go? So I think what could help you there, Vegeta, is time block. Like, just be like, I'm just going to make 1 call, okay? And then I'm going to make another call. Or be like, for the next 5 minutes, all I'm going to do is make calls. So you could look at it like that too. Like for the next 5 minutes, all I'm going to do is make calls, and then that can help you. And then 5 minutes leads to another 5 minutes, leads to another 5 minutes, leads to another 5 minutes. So it's a habit too, because once you build the habit of making those calls all the time, like you come in, exactly. You make a ton of calls every single day.
Every single day,
right?
No days
So
off.
does this guy here. He comes in, makes calls every single day. So, like when you build that habit, it gets easier, right?
Yes, sir.
It
really does.
How would you feel if you came and you just didn't make any calls during the day?
Oh my gosh. There was one day in the entire history I've been here at SLS, the few months I've been here, that I took the day off and I called James and Ernie the next day and everybody. I was like, I felt so guilty about it. And James was like, Nathan, it's okay to take a day off, but you don't know. And when we talked originally, we had that, first video that went on your channel. I was very new. I was still learning all the ins and outs of everything, of how everything worked. I have seen so many people come in that have such great potential or like just way more natural talent than me when I started, but it's just like you're scared to get on the phones. And if you're only getting 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of talk time every week, it doesn't matter how much natural talent you are, unless you are the 0.1%, of agents, you're not going to be successful with that little of a caseload. It doesn't matter if somebody half as good as you, if he works 5 times, if he gets 5 times that and gets the, the 25 hours that over here at SLS, that's what our agents are, that's kind of like the goal that like
25 hours of talk time, he's saying. So
every week.
25 hours talking on the phone.
So if you're half as good as somebody that comes in with natural talent and you're hitting 25, you're going to be doing way better than the person at 5, and you're going to be improving at such a faster pace. And where you're going to be at 2 months and 3 months is going to be way different than, that person that was putting 5 hours of talk time probably is not going to be here in 2-3 months.
Exactly. And if you guys don't have a talk time tracker on your computer or using your cell phone or whatever, then just how many presentations to the quote did I get every day? Like how many people did I bring all the way to the quote?
Because you got to write that stuff down.
You have to track it. So like I would say if you're new, you want to get like 7 people to the quote every day. You want that to be your goal, like 7. Like if you hit that, you had a really good day. That's high. So if you're brand new, you may get 2 or 3 or 4, right? But you want to be like 7. I want to hit 7 presentations because it's all numbers. It's like if you make this many presentations, you're going to get better. And you're going to make sales. So how do you keep your mindset right after plenty of rejection? What do you do after someone gives you rejection? How do you keep positive?
Yeah, I'm going to loop it back to what you just said before. Like Monday, I had like 10 presentations. I brought them all the way through for me to close. And, over this last month, I haven't, I kind of had a lower month than kind of like the super hot start I had. I might not have had that same like delusional confidence, but I was feeling really good after Monday because like I had that many chances to close. I understood, maybe the biggest problem for me right now is just maybe my confidence, maybe just taking things a little bit too seriously. I'm a little bit too scared of the rejection. I came in on Tuesday. I got half of the people to the close on Tuesday. I closed 2 deals. Yesterday, I didn't even feel like I worked yesterday. I closed all 3 deals that I quoted. And like it was just like I was on my P's and Q's. I was just much more confident on the phones. I chose more wisely on who to present to. I took the signs of, okay, maybe this person is not a person I should present to. And maybe I should just set a call back to when that person is, with their caretaker or with their spouse, and not just waste my time in an unnecessary presentation. And it's, so it's like there's going to be ups and downs. It doesn't matter. You could be the greatest insurance agent in the world. You're going to have your days where nothing is hitting, where you're not having sales. But it's just all about that mental toughness, because that's definitely one of the most important things to have in this industry is like I call people all day, every day. It's a constant motion. You got to be able to stay balanced in your head, find that balance in other places of your life to be able and to like keep pushing towards that,
Exactly. And there's a couple mindset things too. Like, it depends how you approach your day. Like for me, it was, I took it from the approach of like, hey, I want to, like, how many people can I give a good experience on the phone today? And whenever I called someone, I'm like, man, I want to be really interested in this person. So if someone answered and gave me a rejection, like, I would laugh it off. And I didn't even care. I had one guy one time answer the phone. He screamed at me. I was like, hey, whoa. You need a friend? You okay, dude? I can help you. You need me to call someone for you? And he screamed at me, hung up, called me back, and he bought a policy. He was like, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have yelled at you. So, like, sometimes your mindset can really help, but keeping the mindset after rejection, look, this business is tough. Like, if you give up after some rejection, you're going to have a tough time. You're just not going to make it because you get rejected all the time. And then if you get into leadership where you're building a team like I am, then, like, your rejections are just multiplied because not only you're getting agents rejecting you, and then you're dealing with all the closes and then the agents get, and you deal with all those rejections. So keeping your mindset, it's just about like, hey, you do it to do it. You don't do it to be positive. You don't do it because it's going to be negative. You do it because you got to do it, right? It's whether you feel like it or not. You have to show up. You have to smile. Exercise in the morning. Eat right. That really helps. Get some sunlight. If you live out there in like Alaska or wherever and it's hard, like, I don't know, stand in the window with a tank top on.
Sell yourself to stick to your schedule and stick to your goals. And like sometimes I gotta sell myself. I need to get out of bed this morning because I need to get to the office by 7:00 so I can listen to my calls before the morning meeting so I can be locked in by the time I get on the phone. Sometimes I gotta sell myself. That might be the first sale you make in the day.
It is. You got to sell yourself. Like the other day, I woke up at 3:30 and I was like, dude, I'm like, I could sit here and sleep for an hour, or I could get up, go to the office, do a bunch of stuff that I got to get done early. And that's what I did. I was at the office super early. So you just got to sell yourself on doing it, man. And I know it's a challenge. If you need help, you can always reach out to myself or Nathan or whatever. Just comment on this. We'll send you our information. Also, my email, jve@thejve.com. You can just connect with us. But we're here to help you. If you need a little pep talk during the day, let us know. But we're gonna be straight up with you. So it is what it is. You got to set a standard for yourself. Yeah, of course, live transfers. If you're taking live transfers, then you're gonna want to qualify them pretty quickly, so that you don't get charged for them, and you want to follow a script with live transfers, same thing. When I take a live transfer, what I say is, hey, thanks for, they'll be like, hey, this is Karen. I have John here on the phone. He lives in the state of Illinois. He's looking for a quote on some life insurance. Say, great. Hey, John, how you doing, man? Good. How's it going over there in Illinois for you today? All right, cool. Well, hey, John, we were connected because at one point in time you had life insurance on your to-do list. Does that ring a bell? And if he's like, yes, I say, great. Well, you're connected with me because I'm a licensed life insurance agent. Okay, John? So when they say that, it's like they know I sell insurance, but I'm not telling them I'm going to sell you life insurance today. Do you want life insurance? You had life insurance on your to-do list at one point in time? Yes, great. I'm a licensed life insurance agent. Okay, cool. And then depending on your time buffer, because these people, we don't get charged for our transfers.
No.
We take transfers all day long. We don't get charged for
And
them.
they're amazing.
Yeah, they're really good. But like other agents, they'll pay like $50, $60, $35 to $60 for a live transfer if it lasts over a minute and a half.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
a lot. So what he's saying
we're blessed to be here, man.
No, we are, for real.
And these new web calls that they're coming up with, oh my gosh, the close rate on those web calls is
I know, we're getting these new calls
insane.
coming in from ads on social media. They're really good. How many outbound calls do you make a day?
It really varies day by day. Like yesterday, I made like 50.
So,
but
in a week.
I had like in a week over 1,000.
So he calls over 1,000 people, he's saying. He's not counting he's not counting his calls. He's counting how many people he called. So he calls over 1,000 people a week. Now, he's pretty blessed here. We have like an unlimited supply of leads for our agents, but he's calling over 1,000 people a week. So you're making 2,000 to 3,000 phone calls a week.
Yeah.
Cool. What systems and process, guys? Keep these questions coming. This is awesome. What systems and process do you build?
I love this.
Yeah, this is great. What systems and processes do you build to resolve every lead? Victor, clarify that for me, please. Resolve. Do you think you mean disposition codes like vanilla stuff? How we hit the codes?
I think so, but to resolve every lead.
Do you mean results? So what we have in our CRM, we have, when you're done with the phone call, on the right side of the CRM, there's different buttons you can press. So we have one where it's like, not interested, call back in 4 days. Someone's like not interested. It doesn't mean they're not interested. They just filled out a lead form. They're just probably busy. So not interested, call back in 4 days. Or like, hey, I made a full presentation they didn't buy. Let's reschedule a call back for like 40 days or something, right? Yeah. Like didn't go to a call. There's different ways you can result it.
And Heather, no, you don't need to have, all you need to do is just get your state license. When I joined on, like a little bit over 3 months ago, the only state I had was Florida, and I dialed there for a good 2-3 weeks. And then SLS actually got me Iowa after that. And then after a month and a half of me just blowing through Iowa, they gifted me with California, so it was pretty great. And after the time I got California, a few weeks after that, I took initiative. I made some really good money in my first few months here, and I just went and I bought like a bunch of states, and I just got a bunch of live transfers coming in from all these different states, and just get to call wherever I want throughout the day, whatever time zone, and it's pretty fun. So yeah, you don't need to go and get a bunch of states and buy a bunch of stuff. You just go get your license, make sure you have your license, and come here and just have your mind ready to learn if SLS is an opportunity that you really want to look into. Because I know Justin, he doesn't, talk too much about SLS in his videos. He really tries to give, unbiased,
Yeah, I don't want to be like every other channel that's trying to recruit people, but obviously we do have a good opportunity here, and I put my email in there. And you can always reach out to us. Like, obviously, I'm open to give anybody a shot. It's a challenge. It's challenging.
And if anybody thinks about coming to SLS and wants to talk to me for whatever reason, I'm always down to,
What's your number? How can they reach you?
772-713-1437. You guys can shoot me a text. I know you guys are on YouTube.
772-713-1437.
1437.
Cool. So that's his number there. All right, it's gonna be worth money someday. So, cool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I meant like, how do you get them on the phone if they don't pick up? Do you do text strips? Oh, yeah, Victor, I love texting leads. So I'm actually running campaigns on YouTube now for my agents. If someone works hard during the day, I'll send them some leads, and I text if like I forgot to send them out, I'll text them. And like if I text 5 leads, 2 usually respond to me. So I have a script I use for texting. I say, hey, my name's Justin. I'm reaching out about the state-approved burial programs you requested information on through YouTube. My job is just to get you all this information in the shortest amount of time possible so you can make a decision whenever you're ready. Would you prefer we communicate via phone call, text message, or email? So I give them that option. I put the ball in their court, right? And I've sold plenty of them over text. And you can ask them. Like when you bring them through, you ask them the health questions. Hey, what would this be for? Just curious, what would they do? How would they pay for your funeral if they didn't have this money, right? So you can ask them questions in text too. Then you quote, if someone wants you to jump in. I also have people say, hey, I want to do this over the phone. I do text strips though, not email. I would do text for sure. And I send it on my cell phone. I mean, you have to make them compliant, but you can learn how to do that when you create the landing pages. Are there open seats in the offices? Yeah, so most of our agents, Regita, are at home, but he's in the office here in Vero Beach, Florida. I'm in Pembroke Pines, Florida, so right near Fort Lauderdale. So I have an office in Pembroke Pines, Florida. He's up here in Vero Beach, Florida. And, yeah, there's open seats always in an office. There's always open seats.
Always welcome to it.
It's life insurance. It's always going to be open spots. Cool. So, yeah, trying to think. What's anything you can think of that you want to give as some advice to people?
Just, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're coming from, as long as you can work hard and you have a reason, an internal reason to stay motivated day after day, and to handle the rejection, to handle the adversity, and just have that goal in mind. And it doesn't matter if your goal is to, just make a stable living, make 50 to 70, if you want to make over 100, if you want to be somebody that makes hundreds of thousands of dollars and builds equity for something else, it doesn't matter what your goals are. As long as you have that mental wherewithal, that's the right word, to keep, pushing, then there's always going to be a way to get there.
Yeah.
And for me, that's SLS, and there's probably a million other ways to go get it out there. But yeah,
Cool.
awesome,
Sweet.
man. I appreciate
What's up, brother? Yeah.
having me on here, guys.
He's gonna go hit the phone right now, and what's up, man? You wanna come up?
Family.
You said what?
You wanna come up?
I don't know what to say to them.
This is second day on the phone.
Oh, it's your second day on the phone?
Yeah.
Hey, come up here then. Come up here then. Okay, we got this guy. What's your name, man?
No, Jerome.
Jerome? All right. Okay, we got Jerome. It's his second day on the phone. Who's your coach here?
Ernie and Nate.
Ernie and Nate. What are you, like 6'4"?
6'4".
6'4"? Jeez, tall guy.
I haven't checked in a while. So
I haven't checked in a while. Okay.
So I don't
If he
know.
grows his hair out, it'll be like 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, when I had my dreads, it was like 6'5" at least.
6'5" with dreads. Jerome right here. All right. So cool.
What's up, everybody?
So this is Jerome. So it's his second day on the phone. So Jerome, what have you learned? How did your second day on the phone go?
It's pretty challenging. Like, I was pretty nervous when I first got on the phone. I mean, like, that was my first time getting in. But, like, I'm still learning. But I've gotten, like, a couple rejections. So I'm just still learning how to, like, move on to the next call and not hang back and be like, wow, what could I do better?
Yeah.
Because I'm still focused on, like, what did I do wrong on that call and how do I fix it on the next call. So that's what I've been learning and what I've been doing these past 2 days.
Awesome. So you're running into some issues when you get people on the phone. They give you a rejection, and then, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That with my leads, I'm still learning to be patient too, cause like a lot of people not gonna answer the phone when you first started. Like you just gotta get used to that. So that's what I'm getting used to right now.
Yeah, it's a numbers game. So this is the thing, guys. You can have like a lot of. You're gonna even if you get your fresh generating leads for yourself, you're gonna go through people who aren't gonna answer the phone. It's just gonna happen. All right. So we start agents and B leads, which are a little older leads, but we get a ton of sales on them. But you just got to go through. You got to understand if someone fills out a lead form and you buy the lead from somewhere, unless you're self-generating your own leads, it's a little different. But still, people don't answer the phone because, like, what if someone's in the doctor's office filling out a lead form, and then they're like, "Oh, yeah, like they can't answer the phone right there, right?" So, what's the biggest objection you run into?
I've gotten somebody who was like, he was saying that he was basically lying on the phone, right? So I just got him on the phone. I went through the introduction phase, and I'm trying to get like, is he looking for insurance or?
Here, come over close.
I was asking him like, is he looking for insurance and things like that? Because like, he was saying he needed insurance, and then afterward he was like, I don't need insurance. I gotta do this. He's trying to get off the phone because like the first 5 minutes, the first 2 minutes, I feel like they're trying to get you off the phone. Everybody trying to get you off the phone.
Yeah, right
That's
away.
what
They're
I've
all trying to
encountered.
get you.
Yeah, like they do not want to talk to you. You just gotta like sell them into talking to you.
Yeah.
And just keep pushing at like they'll send like 20 objection at you. You just gotta keep going. That's what
it.
I realized.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten to close one yet, but I'm working on it.
You will, man. You got it. It's coming up. So this is secret in the beginning, guys. Key, you got to get people to want to talk to you. So when you start selling insurance, you think everybody wants to talk about insurance, right?
Yeah.
No one wants to talk about insurance right away. And if they do, they're not going to tell you because I'll tell you what, it's Medicare season right now, and also these people get blasted with random calls. I'm surprised they even pick up the phone because I don't pick up random numbers.
Exactly.
So the fact they're doing that means they're probably not only answering your call, they're answering other ones. So they're getting hit with insurance. They're getting hit with and people trying to sell them insurance all the time, or sell them, car warranties and all that stuff. So what you got to do, you can't sell them on the idea of buying insurance from you. You got to sell them on the idea of them talking to you. So you got to call someone and you got to make them think like, hey, I kind of want to talk to this person right now. So how do I do that? I try to make them laugh as quick as I can, right? I'll try to be super enthusiastic and energetic. And I found over time that it was really about my tone and also your tempo. Yeah. So if you got to go slow so that people understand what you're saying. Now, some of you guys may be getting pushed back in the beginning because you're just going too quickly. I naturally speak fast. I'm from Massachusetts, so I naturally just like rifle words off the top of my head, and I have to slow down. So in the script, when I say state-approved final expense burial programs, I say it that slow, not state-approved final expense burial programs, because if you say that, they think you're talking a totally different language. They're like, I'm not interested. So you got to make sure You're not getting, I'm not interested in the beginning because of you just saying things too fast. And also, they got to be interested in talking to you. So be super enthusiastic and excited. And a tip to you, Jerome, here, I'm sure your trainer and Nathan has told you this, your coach, but when someone gives you that rejection, just say, oh, that's great, and then just move on, right? I'm not interested. Hey, no worry. Like, you want to be excited that they give you that, okay?
Just agree to disagree with them, basically.
Exactly. Agree. Yeah, just agree to disagree. And when someone tells you, what's up?
Just agree and push it forward.
Yeah, he said agree and push forward. So, like, when someone tells me they have insurance, I'm excited. I'm like, that's awesome. I'm glad you do. That's congrats. Most people I speak with do. That's awesome. And then you just keep going. Listen, they all find this information really valuable. Or I'm not interested. Hey, no worries. Right? Hey, I no worries. Life insurance is pretty boring. I get it. My job's just to get you all this information in the shortest amount of time possible so you can make a decision whenever you're ready. So it's about tone and addressing their fears, because people give you this pushback in the beginning. They feel like they're going to get ripped off. They don't trust you. They feel like they're going to spend too much time. They feel like they're going to feel obligated to buy something from you. Maybe they feel like they don't qualify. Maybe they feel like they can't afford it. So there's all these other fears that are actually at the root of it.
That's what I feel like I've encountered a lot too. Because a lot of people, when I talk to them, I think like they're thinking I'm like a scammer or somebody like that who's trying to scam them, like be a fraud to them or stuff like that. So it's like it's hard to get them to trust me, but it's like also giving me the opportunity like to work on my tone when I'm on the phone with them and things like that.
Yeah, because you have a deep voice, so you have to be more like extra excited, right?
Yeah.
Like you hear Ronald, right? Ronald's got a deep voice, but you hear him on the phone.
Yeah,
Ronald's
he's like,
super.
he's excited in the moment with them and things like that.
Exactly. So we got Ronald Moyes here as one of our top agents. He's always super excited to talk to people on the phone.
And he's an exceptional rapport builder. You don't know how many times he gets to the end of the call, and him and the client are like, I love you. I'm so glad I protected your family. Like, he is so passionate about helping each and every family he talks to.
Yeah.
And that's just a huge part of what makes him so successful.
Yeah, exactly. Connecting with people.
Connecting with them, yeah.
So you got, dude, and this is the thing, is you're so lucky here, Jerome, because you don't understand. Like, all these people watching right here, they're at home, a lot of them by themselves, or they're just in like a Zoom with people not like the way we have it set up. So you're literally next to these people all the time that you can hear dialing, right?
Yeah.
That you can hear making their calls.
He's right behind me. He's next to Mika McKinney. He's three.
Yeah, it's like so much people in the office. Like when you're in the office, it's like so much advantage that you get. Like everybody's here to help you. Everybody's like any question you have, you can like reach out to. Ernie's right there, Nate's right there, like Mika. Everybody's just everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And the energy is like so great. Everybody's like, you hear somebody how they talking on the phone, you can soak in that information from just by being here.
Yeah. And what you'll see is the people that, it's like some people who do really good with this, they have like kind of like a sexy tone, you know, like not like seductive way, but it's like, man, they sound really good. It's like, you know, like they're just smooth with it. So how do you improve as an agent other than just dialing? What do you think can give you an advantage in this industry? Okay, great question. Great question. How do you improve other than just dialing? Because I know plenty of people that dial, but still struggle. So the secret is, it's three things I've found. One is, so if for every day that you work, you want to have an hour to an hour and a half of training time. So you want to invest in your personal development. You want to invest in sales courses like Cardone University, Jordan Belfort's straight line system, Jeremy Miner, I think he has an NEPQ. I know a couple people who did that who do really well with it. You can get a lot of this stuff on YouTube too, sales stuff. So you want to invest in these sales courses and then make sure you apply that information to your sales. So you have to make a cognizant, conscious effort to apply that information to your sales. So every day, do a little bit of a training video and then say, how am I going to use this in my presentations today? That's what I did. Didn't help because that plus the dialing, because there's a couple ways we learn, right? We learn through theoretical learning, which is I'm going to read it in the book. And then there's practical learning, which is I'm going to practice it. And then there's observational learning, where you see someone do it. So there's three ways. So you want to make sure you're tackling all three of those ways of learning. So there's theoretical, I'm going to read, I'm going to see a video, I'm going to learn about it, I'm going to take notes, this is what I'm going to do. Then you do the practical, then you're going to apply it. I'm actually applying what I learned. And it always works. It always works. And then the third one, observational learning. So I'm going to go shadow an agent. They're going to be on a Zoom call. I'm going to listen to their calls. I'm going to have them share their audio, whatever. or I'm going to listen to call recordings of other agents. I have plenty of them on my YouTube channel. I know they're long. It's like an hour to listen to each video. There's a few calls on each, but you'd be like, oh, I see how that person said that. I see where they said that. And I hear their process. So those are the 3 ways what I recommend would be the best. No, there's no seat fees to work in the office, Vegeta. We have it's called an agent toolbox or something like that, agent toolkit. It's $59 a week after 30 days, and it gets docked off of your commission ledger automatically, so it's not like you hook a card up to it. But if you're getting 25 hours of talk time a week or 5,000 AP, it cuts down like in half or something like that. So, and then if you
$25 for the 25 hours and another 25 for the 5,000. So most weeks I only pay like $9.
yeah, so like Nathan's saying, most weeks he only pays like $9 a week for his fee because he's working. Now, the only people who are going to pay that whole 59 are ones who either they're brand new. Well, no, because you're 4 weeks in. It doesn't start till you're 30 days in. That's actually like, so seat fees are not an attempt for an agency to scrape clawback money from agents. It's a legal thing. Because when someone's a 1099 agent, it means they technically should be buying everything on their own. They're an independent contractor. It's like if you came to fix my house, I'm just going to pay you to fix it. You have a month to get it done, or I'm going to pay you to do it. But you bring your own tools. I don't have to buy the saw. So whenever you're 1099, you have to rent out that stuff. If a company provides you all those things legally, that company should be charging you some sort of seat or booth rental because you're 1099. And if they don't charge you, they technically should be having you on W-2 as an employee, which means that they would set themselves up to get sued in a ton of legal issues or fined by the Department of Labor, which is worse than getting sued by someone. So, like, that's the reason why the seat fees are there. So we have it set up where, yes, there's a seat fee, but that includes E&O insurance, your non-resident license renewals, the leads, the CRM, back office support handling, new states, like it takes everything. Cool.
The states some of those states are expensive.
California,
you get them for free. Like California's like $200 and something.
Illinois is like $400 to renew. It's like $600 or something. Dude, to call broke people in Chicago all day. Sorry, I don't mean, but it's really what it is. We call, they're like, yeah, I got $5 I can spend a month. I'm like, dude, really? It's like, no, seriously, we have one of our agents in Illinois. She's like, why do I pay this? But most of them, you're gonna see California, Illinois. If you're from, I don't mean everyone from Chicago is broke. I didn't mean that. I was very politically incorrect there, but. You get it. You get the picture, right? I mean, we call final expense clients. Typically, they're not. Oh, this is a big thing too. What I noticed. So yesterday we had our biggest day ever for my team, and I told everybody, I'm like, okay, quote as many people as you can, but quote them the highest amount of coverage. So this is contrary to anything I did before, because I was looking. Now there's another division here that has agents who sell like huge policies, like you see, like some of the agents in the newsletter, they'll have like 3 sales with like 15,000 AP, right? And you're like, dude, how's that even possible? Like, who are they selling to? But the thing is, sometimes we're just not quoting people high enough, I realized. And what I did, I looked at their 13-week business quality and their 26-week business quality, and they have the same business quality on those big deals as people do on the smaller deals. So I told my people, I'm like, just quote everyone the max, and then just work in little bits down. So if the max is like 50,000, say you sell Mutual of Omaha, max is 50,000, I think. It's one of our carriers has a max of 50,000 too. We don't sell Moo, but 50,000. Is that good for you? No? Whoa, way too much. Okay, 45,000 is, 320 a month. Is that good for you? Jeez, no. And then they may tell you how much they can do, but you go 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. Just work your way down. Because what I found is that people will actually pay more money for more value, okay? It's like if someone came to you and was like, you want $5,000 in life insurance for $10 a month, or $1,000 in life insurance for $10 a month. May not be valuable enough, right?
Yeah.
But if it's like you want $1 million in life insurance for $100 a month,
That sounds way better.
you'd be like, okay, that sounds way better. Now, granted, the scale was off, but people will actually pay more for something they value more. So we had some policies yesterday. We saw the final expense policy for $500 a month yesterday. The guy paid that day. Telesale. He's like, yep, I'll take the max. Here's my checking account information. You need me to grab my checkbook? I'll pay today. That's what he said. I want to get it started right away. Huh? No, he's probably on the phone. It's all good. For new, are your agents hold on. Are your agents captured? So yes, we are captive, of course. Now we're a captive agency, which means that you have to keep your contracts exclusive with us. Now, captive has this like bad term. You think of like an animal in a cage or like you're in jail. So captive, all that means is it's like if you're in a relationship. Who asked that? Alvin. So Alvin, that's like saying, are you okay with your girlfriend or wife, unless you swing the other way, I don't know. Are you okay with your girlfriend or wife, your significant other, going out with someone else on a date? No. You're like, yeah, well, I'm putting all my time and effort into you. I'm invested in you. We got a house together, right? We got kids together maybe. We got all this stuff together. So we come to agents with this full relationship. Like we're giving you leads, we're giving you a CRM, we're giving you all the sales and support. Our trainers are there every day helping agents. In exchange, we want you to only do your business with us. I think that's more than fair. Now, I was independent before and I moved here. I make more money now, captive, than I did independent. Everyone's different. I realized that the commission percentage didn't end up always equaling the net annual income. And when I was building a team, it made more sense for me to do it here. But yes, agents here are captive. The reason why I say that is because sometimes people have this like horrible image of captive. There's another captive company out there, Lincoln Heritage, and their agents make a ton of money. I know a guy who makes like $700,000 a month at a captive company. My friend David Price, he only sells senior life insurance company. He's not contracted with anybody else, makes over $100,000 a month, right? There are plenty of agents here. We're captive, making a lot of money every single month in captive. So you can be successful independent. There are plenty of people who are, but I don't think it's exactly as what everybody makes it out to be. For new agents, what stage should you buy to be able to generate as much leads as possible using Facebook? I would buy like 5 to 10. Honestly, the more you have, the better. The more you have, the better. California, so it's good. California, huh?
It's a great state.
So you want to buy the states that have the most amount of people. Not always, though. But California, I get a lot of leads in California that come in from California just because I think it's just, I don't know, there's so many people in California. But California's kind of expensive. I would buy like 5 to 10 states. As many as you can buy, the better. It's an investment in yourself. I would do this, right? Buy one state. Make a sale in that state. Take the advance commission. Buy a license in another state. Make a sale in that state. Buy a license in another state, right? So you're just like state hopping like that. All right, cool. Well, we are 52 minutes in. I appreciate you guys. Took Jerome here too long. He's like, his fingers are twitching right now. He wants to dial so bad.
Oh wow!
I
I can't wait to get that first cell in, man.
You're
I'm
gonna,
so
man.
itching
You're
for that
gonna.
one.
You got it. Just get him on the phone, bring him through, reach out for help, dude. You're gonna get it.
Yes, sir.
One of my great agents, Griffin Henderson, he didn't make a sale his first 10 days, and he does well. The funny thing is too, when I told someone that too, I was like, Griffin didn't make a sale for his first 10 days. She's like, he's so good, I'm not gonna make a sale for a month.
That's what I've been saying too. Cause I hear a lot of people saying that the first week was like their hardest week. They didn't make no sale at all. But it's just like you gotta stay consistent with everything.
That's it. It's like anything. You know what I mean? You ever work out?
Yeah. I actually haven't been to the gym because like my gym been closed the past week. I guess I'm like
okay.
renovating and stuff.
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, you look like you work out. So imagine like if I started working out and I went for a week, I'm like, damn, I'm not jacked.
Yeah,
What would you do?
that's the same mindset, though. Like you can't quit. You got to keep going.
Yeah, exactly, right? So if I told you, like, dude, you just got to keep going, keep showing up, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Hey, thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Hope you appreciate Nathan, Ernie, Jerome, and of course me. Of course, you're gonna appreciate me. Just kidding. And then Kratos up here. We want to say hi to Kratos, everybody. God of War 3, Ragnarok came out. I did bring my PlayStation to the home office so that I can play at the hotel. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for your time today. And I'm out.